One of the most dangerous assumptions in shoulder recovery sounds completely reasonable. It's the belief that today's decisions don't really matter as long as you avoid the big mistakes. Most people aren't planning to do anything reckless. They're not trying to ignore their surgeon's restrictions. They're not planning to lift something they shouldn't. They're not trying to rush back to golf, pickleball, or yard work before they're ready. Instead, they're making dozens of ordinary decisions every single day. And that's exactly where recovery quietly changes direction. Because recovery problems rarely begin with one dramatic event. More often, they begin with decisions that feel completely reasonable in the moment. A little extra protection, a little less movement, waiting one more day before trying something again, using the other arm because it just feels easier. None of those decisions seem important by themselves, but recovery isn't shaped by individual days. It's shaped by repeated days. I'm Dr. Dan, an orthopedic surgeon specializing in shoulders, and after watching thousands of people recover, I've noticed something that surprises many patients. The people who recover well aren't necessarily the ones who never have uncomfortable days. They're the ones who consistently make good decisions when recovery becomes uncertain. That's an important difference. Because recovery isn't simply about healing a tendon. It's about learning how to respond when your shoulder doesn't give you perfectly clear information. Most patients think recovery is about following instructions. In reality, that's only part of it. I think of recovery decisions as a hierarchy. At the top are the major decisions, following your restrictions, going to physical therapy, protecting the repair when it truly needs protection. Fortunately, most people do a very good job with those. But underneath those are hundreds of smaller decisions that almost no one prepares you for. Should I reach for that cup? Should I use this arm to get dressed? Should I stop because that movement felt different today? Should I skip tomorrow's exercises because I'm a little sore tonight? Those decisions seem ordinary, but they're the ones that quietly shape the direction of recovery. And they're also the decisions your surgeon and therapist can't make for you. That's exactly why I created the shoulder recovery method. Not because patients need another list of exercises, and not because they need more restrictions. They need something just as important, a framework for making good decisions during the other 166 hours each week when they're away from appointments. If you've watched this channel for a while, you've heard me talk about what I call the 166-hour void. Most patients spend less than 2 hours each week with healthcare professionals. Everything else happens at home. That's where recovery actually happens. It happens when you wake up and your shoulder feels different than yesterday. It happens when you get dressed. It happens when you reach into a cabinet. It happens when you decide whether to use the arm for a simple daily activity. It happens every time you notice a symptom and immediately wonder what it means. Those moments don't feel important, but they accumulate, and recovery is far more influenced by accumulation than by isolated events. That's also why I created the free shoulder recovery guide. If you're trying to understand what's normal, what deserves attention, and what doesn't, you'll find the link in the description below. Now, here's where I think many patients unintentionally go off course. They judge every decision by asking one simple question. Does this feel safe today? At first, that sounds like exactly the right question, but it's incomplete. Because recovery isn't just about today's decision. It's about where today's decision is taking you. Instead, I encourage patients to ask a different question. If I keep making this same decision, where does it lead? That single question changes everything. Because recovery doesn't usually change in one dramatic moment. It changes direction gradually, one repeated decision at a time. Now let me show you what I mean. Imagine a patient who reaches for a coffee mug and feels a little discomfort. Nothing dramatic happened. They didn't fall. They didn't hear a pop. They didn't damage the repair. The shoulder simply felt uncomfortable. So they decide to avoid that movement. That seems like a smart decision. The next day, they avoid it again. A few days later, they start using the other arm whenever possible. By the end of the week, they're changing how they get dressed. They're reaching into cabinets differently. They're asking family members to do things they probably could have done themselves. Not because they're incapable, because they're uncertain. A month later, the original discomfort is gone, but something else has quietly taken its place. Their confidence. I see this over and over again. Patients rarely lose confidence because of one major setback. They lose it through a series of small adjustments that slowly become their new normal. Eventually, they start saying things like, my shoulder just doesn't feel trustworthy. I don't know what I should be doing anymore. I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up. Notice what happened. The shoulder wasn't necessarily getting worse. Their confidence was. And confidence matters more than many people realize, because when confidence begins to fall, every sensation starts carrying more weight. A little soreness feels like a warning. A little stiffness feels like a setback. A good day followed by a frustrating day suddenly feels like proof that something has gone wrong. Recovery becomes emotionally exhausting, not because the shoulder is failing, because every decision now feels important. Every symptom becomes another question. Every question demands another decision. That's mentally draining. This is where I encourage patients to use a very simple framework. Whenever you find yourself changing what you're doing because of your shoulder, pause for just a moment and ask yourself 3 questions. First, why am I making this adjustment? Is it because my surgeon gave me a restriction? Is it because my therapist asked me to modify an activity? Or am I reacting to uncertainty? Those are 3 very different reasons. Second, if I repeat this decision every day for the next month, where does it lead? This may be the most important question in the entire video because it immediately shifts your thinking away from today's discomfort and toward tomorrow's direction. Avoiding one movement today may be completely appropriate. Avoiding that same movement for 4 weeks because no one ever helped you reevaluate it may not be. Being a little more protective after a difficult therapy session can make sense. Living in that protective mode long after the shoulder is ready to progress can quietly hold you back. Recovery is rarely defined by what you do once. It's defined by what you repeat. Third, is this decision helping my recovery or is it simply helping me feel less anxious today? Sometimes those 2 things are exactly the same. Sometimes protecting the shoulder is absolutely the correct decision, but sometimes what feels emotionally safer today isn't actually moving recovery in the right direction over the next several weeks. That's why having a framework matters, not because it gives you every answer, but because it helps you recognize the difference between making a thoughtful decision and making a fearful one. Now, before this starts making you wonder whether you've already been making mistakes, let me relieve some of that pressure. Recovery is much more forgiving than most people think. One overly cautious day isn't going to ruin your outcome. One difficult week doesn't erase months of progress. One day where you choose to move a little less isn't something you should lose sleep over. Healing doesn't work that way. What matters isn't one decision. It's the pattern those decisions begin to create. And patterns are much easier to change when you recognize them early. That's why I encourage patients to stop evaluating recovery one day at a time. Instead, every so often, step back and ask yourself a much bigger question. What direction is my recovery moving? Because that's really what we're trying to protect. Not just today's shoulder, the direction you're heading. Recovery has a direction, and direction is often much more important than any single day. One of the biggest gaps I see in shoulder recovery isn't a lack of effort, it's a lack of a framework. Your surgeon repairs the tendon. Your physical therapist helps restore motion and strength. Both are incredibly important. But neither one is standing beside you on Tuesday morning when you wake up wondering why your shoulder feels tighter than it did yesterday. They aren't there when you're deciding whether to carry the grocery bag, reach into the back seat of the car, or skip your home exercises because today feels a little different. That's not a failure of your healthcare team. It's simply the reality of recovery. Most of recovery happens between appointments, and that's exactly where uncertainty begins to influence decisions. A patient feels stiff, they become a little more protective. The shoulder then feels less natural because it's moving less. That unfamiliar feeling makes them even more cautious. Now they're using the opposite arm for tasks they could probably perform safely. Confidence begins to fade. They start paying closer attention to every sensation. The shoulder suddenly feels like something that needs to be monitored every minute of the day. Can you see how quickly recovery has drifted? It didn't happen because of one bad decision. It happened because each decision reinforced the next one. I call this the compensatory cascade. It often starts with one completely understandable choice. I'll just protect it a little more today. Then that protection changes how the shoulder moves. The neck starts helping more, the upper back works harder, the opposite arm begins taking over, movements become less fluid, daily activities require more thought, the shoulder starts feeling less trustworthy, not because the repair is failing, but because normal movement has gradually been replaced by guarded movement. Then something else happens. Every ache feels more important. Every pop or click seems more alarming. Every stiff morning feels like evidence that recovery has stalled. By this point, the shoulder isn't the only thing that's changed. Your confidence has changed too. And confidence plays a much larger role in recovery than most people appreciate. Confident patients don't ignore symptoms. They simply have a framework for interpreting them. They understand that one uncomfortable day doesn't erase weeks of progress. They recognize that recovery isn't supposed to feel exactly the same every day. They know that healing is often uneven. Some days you move forward, some days you feel like you've taken a step back. And sometimes those frustrating days are simply part of a recovery that is actually progressing normally. That's why I don't want you chasing perfect days. I want you watching for healthy patterns. Healthy patterns create healthy direction. So when something feels different, don't immediately ask, what did I do wrong? Instead, ask, is this a temporary response or am I creating a new pattern? That one question can keep a normal recovery from becoming an unnecessarily stressful recovery. The truth is, most patients are trying very hard to do the right thing. The problem isn't effort, the problem is interpretation. Without a framework, uncertainty almost always fills the space between appointments. And uncertainty has a way of making every decision feel bigger than it really is. That's exactly why I created the shoulder recovery method. Not because patients need more information. Most people already have information. They've read the instructions. They've been to therapy. They've watched videos. What they often don't have is a practical way to think through the hundreds of small decisions that happen when no one else is there to guide them. That's what the method is designed to provide. A framework, a way of thinking, a way to evaluate decisions before they quietly become habits. Because the decisions that shape your recovery are rarely the dramatic ones. They're the quiet ones, the ones that seem too small to matter, the ones you make almost without thinking, the ones you repeat. Those repeated decisions become patterns. Those patterns determine direction, and that direction ultimately influences your recovery. So the next time your shoulder feels different, don't stop at asking, how does my shoulder feel today? Ask yourself something even more valuable. If I keep making the same decision for the next month, where does it lead? That single question shifts your attention away from today's discomfort and back toward the bigger picture. And when you start thinking that way, recovery usually becomes less confusing, less emotionally exhausting, and much more intentional. Because successful recovery isn't built on perfect decisions. It's built on recognizing patterns before they quietly begin changing your direction. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but recovery still seems painfully slow, I want you to watch the next video. We're going to talk about why healing often feels like nothing is happening, even when your shoulder is making meaningful progress. I think it will change the way you look at your recovery. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next Thursday.